We are now talking to Princeton wide receiver recruit Matthew Mahoney. What's going on, Matthew?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, besides the people calling up the show when we have a special guest or we have other callers on the phone, I'm feeling good, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. How are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
We're doing well. We had our whole family home for a while. My brother came home from college, so obviously back when in March when this all went down. But it was good to have the family together for a little bit, even though it was kind of a dim situation. So
Well, let me ask you this question. I mean, thinking of Princeton, you think about academics. You don't think about football. Even with their basketball team, Division One, they've been in the NCAA tournament. We've seen that the last couple of years. They've squeaked into the NCAA tournament and actually made some progress of what we've seen. But Princeton football doesn't really stand out over the years. It's really academic. So you have to be really, really smart to go to school. I'm willing to bet you have a 3.9 or 4.0 average. Am I right?
yeah, 3.89.
So there you go. So you're a smart guy and you're a good football player. So let me ask you this question. Out of all the teams and all the schools that were recruiting you, why did you pick Princeton?
Yeah, so they were really one of the first teams to really get in contact with me and show serious interest in me. That really meant a lot. Coming out of my junior year, I wasn't really heavily recruited, and I sent my film there. I got a couple offers in late January, and then Princeton hopped right on board and really connected with their coaching staff and just what they showed me that they could do with me with me at the wide receiver position was really attractive to me along with it being just an unbelievable academic experience, and then just set me up well for the rest of my life.
Do you think the football program and the athletic programs in the Ivy League and where you are at Princeton are oftentimes undervalued because they're always thought of as these brainiac, like super smart kids school? Do you think the football programs and again, other athletic programs sometimes get washed away, even with mid-major teams?
It's pretty easy to you hear a name like Princeton or Yale or Harvard or something like that, and you're like, you think academics, one of the best places in the world for school and stuff like that. But you watch these games, and there's a lot of great players out on the field, and there's a lot of players in the NFL who came from the Ivy League and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty high level of football, and when you get to watch, you can really tell there's a lot of talented guys out there.
So have you reached out to Brevin White? Have you reached out to him yet?
I haven't. No, I know he's the quarterback. He turned down an offer from Alabama to go to Princeton, though.
As you guys know, by the way, we are talking to Princeton wide receiver recruit Matthew Mahoney. Now, Matthew, I look at recruiting, and I ask all the recruits that we interview, and we've interviewed quite a few. Actually, in the top 100, we've probably interviewed about 65 to 70 of them. So we've talked to a lot of the top recruits in the country that are going to college this year and next year. What was it like having the coach and some of the coaches from Princeton come and sit down and talk about recruiting you and coming to and asking you to come to the school of their choice?
Yeah, so growing up, I come from a football family. My brother plays at Notre Dame. My dad played at Iowa State. So I know playing Division I football was always a goal of mine, something I always dreamed about. But there's injuries happen in high school and stuff like that, and I had to sit out a little bit my freshman year because of injuries. And sometimes you look at that like a big task, and you're like, I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I really put my head down and went to work. And when opportunities to play in college started to come in, it was really just a blessing. I couldn't even tell you all the work that went into it, but it was just really a blessing that it really came to fruition. It was really, it's just a dream come true, to be honest. That's the only way I can put it. So it really meant a lot that all these schools took the time to recruit me and extend me opportunities to play at their schools. So
The Ivy League was the first one to cancel their fall football season, in addition to being the first to cancel their conference tournament in the NCAA tournament. So do you think they made the right decision this year doing that? And also, do you think when you end up playing, a lot of their seasons will end up being a little abnormal because of that? Or do you think it will come back to normalcy at some point in your college career?
I'm not really sure. You saw the Big Ten; they weren't going to play originally, but it sounds like they might get a season in now and stuff like that. So obviously, we're living in times where things change pretty frequently, and I'm in my football season right now, and there's teams that are playing a game on a Friday, and then the next Friday their whole team's quarantined. So it's just this whole time that we're living in right now is really a testament to how quickly life can change. But in terms of the Ivy League and their plans for the future and stuff like that, I hope they get a season in for the spring. I don't really have any idea or insider information on what they're going to do with that. But, I think there's a lot of smart people out there making smart decisions. So I trust them and looking forward to being a part of it.
We are talking to Princeton wide receiver recruit Matthew Mahoney. Now, Matthew, the wide receiver has become the most pre-madonna position in professional sports. And what I mean by that, we have watched guys like Odell Beckham, and we've seen guys like Hopkins or some of the wide receivers we've seen over the last couple of years come out of the
Brown.
Antonio Brown. I mean, all of them. You name it. Amari Cooper, Julio Jones. All these wide receivers come out of college football and come into the NFL and really transition a game as one-time guys that were very much into their games and their speed and their hands, now to really talking and being egotistical like we've seen over the years. What type of player are you? What type of athlete are you going to Princeton, being that you're a smart guy? What could the fans look forward to seeing you on the field? How would they portray you moving forward as a football player?
Yeah, just one of my things, I'm a big team guy. All I do on the field and all I do put in work and stuff like that, it's really all for the team. So in terms of pre-madonna stuff with the that you were mentioning, you won't get any of that from me. But I'm just a hard worker, really love the game, and just really appreciate every time I get to go out there and get to play. So,
but you do agree with me that it's become a prima-donna position now in the NFL?
I think there's a lot of great players in the NFL.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah, and obviously there's stuff that comes along with that. People act out now and again, but I wouldn't say that only happens at the receiver position. But I definitely would agree that there's been some instances over the past couple of years where it raised some eyebrows about the position.
First of all, I never said, and there are people saying right now, who said that Julio Jones is egotistical? I didn't say Julio Jones is egotistical. I said there are egotistical players at the wide receiver position. I was naming wide receivers, Carl. I don't know why you're in such a defense mode today on the social media end. I mean, everything that I'm saying, you're defensive. So I think you need to zipper your lip here and just relax. But anyways, as you guys know, we are talking to Princeton wide receiver recruit Matthew Mahoney.
So I saw on your Twitter account that you have the nickname Thielen Jr. So one question is you're probably a Vikings fan from that logic, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm a big Vikings fan.
All right, so two parts with that. One, where do you rank Adam Thielen among wide receivers in the NFL? And two, what is your outlook on the Vikings as a whole this upcoming season? And then also, how does Thielen, watching him play, improve your game?
Yeah, obviously the Adam Thielen story is a pretty special one. He didn't really have a whole lot of opportunities coming out of high school, and just went to Mankato State and really made a name for himself. So he's one of my favorite guys. In terms of where he racks up against some of the top guys, I think year after year he's kind of proven people wrong. I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. He started the year with like 10 straight games of 100 yards straight. That's pretty unheard of. Just across college or pro, that's pretty unheard of. So I know he's definitely a top 10 or top 15 guy in my opinion. That you guys may pull your hair out hearing that, but I think he's a top 10 or top 15 guy. But in terms of the Vikings this upcoming season, rough game on Sunday, but I'm hoping they can turn it around and figure it out. The offense looked good, which was promising.
They played Aaron Rodgers. That's what happened. They bumped into, I believe, if healthy this year, he's going to be the best quarterback in football. I still think he is. I know a lot of people want to put Patrick Mahomes on the top of the world because of what he's done the last couple of years. But when Aaron Rodgers is 100% healthy, he is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I don't want to hear any arguments to it. He is the best quarterback in the league. If you look at the wide receiver core that he has had over the years, he makes those wide receivers look that much better. You want to say that Tom Brady does the same thing, or Drew Brees does the same thing over the years with Marquise Colston or something like? Yes, the great ones always make the other players that you wouldn't believe to be superstars. So again, I do believe Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league. But your thoughts to your game. I mean, what is your strengths? Are you fast? Are you a good route runner? Do you have the big hands that a lot of coaches look for? I mean, because you can grab and you don't drop the balls like pot hand Robbie Anderson. I mean, what is your strengths and what is your weaknesses? What really stands out to the coaches on what they've seen with film?
Yeah, so I'm a track guy, so I'd like to think that my speed's something that separates me. But in terms of stuff on the field, skills wise, I've really put a lot of effort in my route running over the past couple of years. I've been training with the wide receiver trainer, Flynn Heald, since my freshman year. He played at William Mary in Virginia, and he's helped me in ways I can't even imagine with my route running. He's helped me a ton. My receivers coach at Valley and just all the coaches at Valley, Coach Nedved, Coach Swenson, all those guys, they've really helped me a ton in the route running game. So it's just been a mixture of a lot of people who've invested into me. So I'd say speed and route running and just running away from people. I think those are what I kind of would be my selling points, but I work on that stuff a lot.
So you're like Forrest Gump. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you could say that, I guess. Yeah.
Is that what your parents used to say when you were a kid? Run, Mahoney, run.
Yeah, my brother was always faster than me growing up. He's 4 years older, so never was beating him in too many races, but he definitely motivated me to try to catch up to him someday. But
well, that's a good thing.
There yet.
It's a good thing when you have somebody older than you that pushes your talent and pushes you as an athlete, as a person, everything. Competitiveness doesn't hurt anybody. So
definitely. Yeah, that's the truth.
So another big aspect of the wide receivers now, in addition to speed, like you mentioned, everyone's looking for the fastest guy, is also versatility. It's not just an outside guy anymore. You also want guys that can also line up in the slot. We see guys line up in the backfield. We see the Rams run their receivers as running backs a lot of the times, and other teams started adopting that too. Do you think versatility will continue to have that kind of trend? And have your coaches so far at the high school level used you in those kinds of roles too? And if so, in what ways?
Yeah, obviously – you see all the great ones in the NFL and in college for that matter. They're all moving around and just getting them in different positions, slot and outside, just to play with the defense and create different looks for them. In terms of my playing and where I play, like if you look at me, you'd probably think I'm more of an outside guy. I'm taller, about 6'2", can run, so you'd think I'm more of an outside guy. But I've been playing a lot of slot over these past 2 years. Really enjoyed it, and it's just really added another aspect to my game I just, growing up, they always threw me on the outside, so you'd run, throw me deep balls. But when you get in the slot, just a whole different world opens up for you and just adds to the final goal of becoming a more complete receiver. So, yeah, I've got to play both, and I really enjoy both.
We are talking to Princeton wide receiver recruit Matthew Mahoney. Before we get into our crazy questions, I have one more good question for you. And is there a particular person over the last couple of years or your whole life that really pushed you to continue playing football, playing sports, to get this dream to play college Division I football over there at Princeton and have the opportunity to get a 4-year degree over there in Princeton and maybe quite possibly in the future be drafted by an NFL team?
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up in a football family. My dad played in college at Iowa State. My brother currently plays at Notre Dame. Growing up, I just really idolized my brother. He's been a great role model for me, and I can't thank him enough for all he's done. But just he went through high school, and he was a really hard hitting safety, and we play different positions now. But he'd be someone I'd really just say really pushed me to achieve my dreams like he did, obviously playing in college as well. So say my brother and obviously just all my family around has really pushed me to be my best. But I can't thank them enough for all the support they've given me. So
your brother is John Mahoney, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading about him. So yes, and he's a scholar too, very smart guy as well.
Yeah, he's pretty smart dude. So
you're a smart family over there. One goes to Notre Dame, the other one goes to Princeton. It's only two of you, right?
Yeah, just two of us.